Shamea tried to use her mom and Portia's mom beef and Porsha as a mother against her to start chaos and drama? Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. So, today we are talking Love Island USA Season 8. Real Housewives of Atlanta. And y'all already know where we're going in this particular video. This is all about the Shamea and the Porsha of it all, because I feel like Shamea has completely lost the plot. Shamea has completely lost her mind. Shamea thought that she was going to pull something and get a reaction out of Porsha and cause Porsha to act violent or any of the things, and it backfired for Shamea. Shamea ended up being the one crashing out, leaving, and crying in the car like a baby. I can't stress enough, not everybody is fit to do this show. And let this be a lesson about friend of becoming full-time housewives. And particularly on this show, it did not go well for Marlo, and it's not going to go well for Shamea. How can you continue, anytime you bring up stuff with Porsha, it's always this old stuff. It's always this old stuff. It's always this nonsense. And now it explains why Dennis does all that performative mess about Porsha on social media, because he's messy behind the scenes gossiping about her, whether it's to Drew Sidora or Shamea and her husband or whoever else. That man is bitter that Porsha did not accept his cheating and stay with him. That man is a clout chaser. Listen, him and Porsha may have great chemistry, but ultimately that man is a cheater pumpkin eater, and that man is in his feelings that Porsha did not stick around for his cheating and his disrespect. And shows herself. I'm glad Porsha unfollowed that dude. But that was nasty work of Shamea to try to use Pilar against Porsha. Why would Porsha have her daughter around somebody who hates her guts? Why would Porsha have her daughter around knowing that Shamea gossips like crazy about Porsha behind her back? And again, Shamea bringing up, oh, Porsha didn't want me on the show or all this and all that, but they showed the receipts in which Andy Cohen confirmed for years that Porsha advocated for Shamea to have a peach. The problem was Shamea was holding on to all this resentment. She had a game plan that once she got a peach, she was going to do all of this stuff against Porsha 2 seasons in a row, and it has flopped. It has backfired. That's the issue. She thought she can come on the show with a grudge after previous issues with Porsha had already been resolved. And then when you ran out of all of those options, you have to bring the moms into this? No. Is Mama Diane and Shamea's mom, are they going to have a seat at the reunion stage? But because this is low down and diabolical, right? So you thought that you did something by then ultimately bringing up that, allegedly Porsha's mama Diane attempted to sleep with Shamea's father. And then Porsha was like, well, listen, look at here. I dealt with that. I took that home to my mom. I already knew you were going to pull that. And that is a Nene Leakes move. Porsha has studied her big sister, Nene Leakes. That is a Nene Leakes move. Oh, okay. You think you got tea on me? You think you got an issue on me and all this and all of that? Porsha was like, listen, look at here. I already told my mom already, knows that you were gonna pull that out of the chamber at some point. That you were gonna try to pull that as one of your stunts on this show. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get me rattled. And she couldn't believe what you were saying. As she said, it's really the audacity because allegedly your mom slept with your father's brother. And what was interesting was that Shamea did not deny it, but said which one, which brother. Say a name. No. How can you bring out something like that about Mama Diane, and then when Porsha hits back, you want names? You're not cut out for this, Shamea. And I think the root of the issue is Shamea is mad at anybody that Shamea feels is quote unquote on her team that gets along with Porsha or makes up with Porsha. Shamea is one of those vindictive types of friends that if you have a falling out with her, any mutuals that y'all have, they all got to be on the smoke as well. They all got to be against you as well. And the problem Shamea has is that the divisiveness cannot work on this type of show. This is an ensemble cast. I was very confused when Shamea kept saying in interviews that her and Porsha are able to coexist. You can't coexist after this. You cannot coexist after this, Shamea. You can't go low like that and then expect. And the thing of it is, the real reason Shamea is mad too is she realized at some point that this cast is not fooling with her. It's not bullying. It's not harassment. It's not colorism. The issue Shamea has failed to realize is the cast has seen that if you were willing to go this low about Porsha, behind Porsha's back last season, which is what Angela Oakley called you to the carpet about, if you're willing to go this low with your supposed childhood bestie, then any of them at any point in time can also get that type of energy. And so for those reasons, that is why the cast is not going to fool with you. Like, where do you go from here? If you pull this against Porsha, why would anybody else in the cast be on your side? Because you can pull any of that on them, and you've known them for way less. I just can't believe it. I just cannot believe it that Shamea would try to use Porsha's daughter against her, and then when that didn't work, when she didn't get the reaction she wanted, she tried pulling the mamas. And again, once you thought that y'all were gonna provoke Porsha, y'all thought that y'all were gonna see Porsha, you know what I'm saying, get into it. But the reality is, Shamea is mad, like I said, that Porsha and Kelly had resolved their issues and all the things. But then K. Michelle is peeping something and is letting Pinky know, I'm not feeling this energy from Shamea, and called her a monster. It's not that she's acting like a monster. Cynthia alluded to it on the Dallas trip earlier in the season that there is something going on in Shamea's life that she is unhappy about. And I don't care how many trips Shamea takes with her husband, how many shopping sprees at designer labels, or how much stunting you want to prove on the Instagrammies that your life is so fabulous. Because here's the thing. If your life was so amazing, why are you so desperate for fame and the show? Even if Porsha did say that a long time ago, that you've got the Hawks, you got the radio station, you've got X, Y, and Z, why do you want to come here? Shamea should have realized what that meant. That if we're supposedly best friends, why do you want to do everything I do? Why do you want to come on this platform? But Shamea saw a way to be famous. But here's the thing. Shamea has been in op of Porsha's. She's been showing text messages that were anti-Porsha, that she was hoping other housewives like Sheree, like Kim Zolciak, and others would turn against Porsha. And that is why she's thick as thieves with Kandi. That is why she is thick as thieves with Kandi and never said anything when they were SLUT shaming Porsha. And trying to say, oh, Porsha slept with everyone is a gag. But you had no problem with that when you were friends with her. So what does that make you? Just like you were laughing last season when Porsha said that she would have Charles, which again I stand on was inappropriate, but you had no problem laughing about it. And you had no problem, you know what I'm saying, continuing to spread around the alleged Charles Oakley cheating allegations. So it's really crazy to me, and there's a rumor, I don't know if this is true, that you're one of the people that didn't want Kenya to come back. Or you wanted Kenya fired, allegedly. I don't know. That's what the streets are saying. I don't know if that's true. But ultimately, you know what I'm saying? You're not this innocent person. And now I see why K. Michelle unfollowed you and probably lit you up at the reunion. This was probably all a scheme. You probably thought that because you became a peach holder, instead of showcasing your friendship with Porsha, you wanted to take her deal. You secretly were jealous of her. You pretended to resolve all these so-called issues with Porsha, but you did not have any skin in the game because you were not a peach holder. So what you did was you latched on to the peach holders that either had an issue with Porsha or that could give you the most clout and attention, like Kandi Burruss. And I, for the life of me, do not understand or foresee how Kandi does not see that Shamea is playing in her face. I don't get it. But again, look how long it took her to realize that Todd was also playing in her face. But for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? She gives Shamea all this grace and all this smoke, and they're thick as thieves for whatever reason. But I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I'm not feeling it, and all of this and all of that. But yeah, I don't know how you can go this low, Shamea, and expect to come back to the show. Because now you have to take into consideration that if you're saying that only Kellen's rocking with you, that's the only person, because even Pinky's peeping game, that this little, for the second season in a row, your little alliance has completely flopped, has completely fell apart. You know what I'm saying? So where are you going to go from here? What is going to be your next move from here? It is the question. Because if Pinky is peeping that something's not all right there, if K. Michelle is calling you a monster, if Porsha's like, listen, look at here, if you want to go low, I can go lower as well, and I've got more in the chamber, if you want to go this direction, it's curtains, it's crickets. Shamea is so upset that Porsha will not give her the attention that she is looking for, will not acknowledge her, and I bet you production told Shamea that if you do not do something, you're getting demoted this season. Or your job's on the line. And I still believe her job's on the line. Because once you go to these levels, you know what I'm saying, to try to have a moment on reality TV, you can't come back from it. And Porsha, you know, even if Porsha said that you have everything, why do you want this? You didn't have the wherewithal to realize Porsha was trying to tell you that shows like these destroy real life friendships. Look what happened with Kandi and Phaedra. You know what I'm saying? Look on Married to Medicine, the ups and downs that Dr. Jackie and Simone have. You know what I'm saying? Look at the real life friendships that have destroyed the show. I think the only friendship that has not had like a real issue and has really stood the test of time is on Potomac with Giselle and Robin. They have been able to weather everything and have not had any type of big time fallout or anything like that. Compared to what happened with Phaedra and Kandi and now Shamea and Porsha. But again, if the rest of the cast can see that this is not you, that you trying to be a villain is not working out for you because you know you're really not about that life, they know that you eventually crash out or go cry and try to victimize yourself when things don't go your way. Where do you think the future is going to go for you on this show? Because what if the cast decides that they don't want to film with you and only Kelly wants to film with you and deal with you? Because Neil, the cast has a reason not to want to deal with you. That if you're going to go like this against your own former childhood friend, that there's no boundaries for any of these other ladies that you've known significantly less time. But Shamea did not think this through. You know what I'm saying? Shamea did not think this through. This friendship should have been over. If you're holding on to all these supposed grudges, or if you really use the show to carry out whatever issues your mom was holding on to with Mama Diane, that is nasty work. That is low down. That is diabolical. But I just don't see a situation how Shamea and Porsha can continue to coexist on this show if this is how low you're willing to go for a TV moment. And you probably thought you ate. But a lot of people are realizing that this wasn't it. That you can't come back from stuff like this. See, Porsha was just keeping it cute with the daycare stuff. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it surface level. But if we want to go down low, because I had suspected that this probably involved a man. I just didn't know potentially like how far low we were going. Once you cross those lines, all bets are off. All bets are off. So what is Shamea's game plan from here? Because you can't be this bitter and have all this animosity, and other cast members are peeping it, which is why they're probably going to take a step back from you, which is why K. Michelle has turned on you. Because they realize if you can pull this with Porsha, you can pull this with any of them, and they don't want that type of energy. Because now, and I think that's the real reason you're mad at Angela Oakley, because Angela Oakley pulled your card. Angela Oakley exposed the fact that this is the type of time that you were on when things do not go your way. That you're willing to be messy like this, you're willing to be two-faced like this, but you want everybody to go along to get along. You are not expecting Angela Oakley and Drew Sidora to expose you. You are not expecting Britt Eady to expose that you were sharing text messages with people. And the reason that you only have Kelly there by your side is because you probably pulled the same stunt with her that you did with K. Michelle. Is you're trying to do all this stuff behind the scenes to use as a bargaining chip that should mean you should be loyal. That if I hang out with you, if I bring my mom around you, if I do X, Y, and Z, if I give you a townhouse to stay in, you know what I'm saying? If I give you access to my family, you need to be loyal to me. And that's just not how it works. You can't just treat people any old kind of way and expect loyalty. And I think that's the real reason Porsha took a step back. For years, people called Porsha a bad friend, but I think Porsha had been peeping how Shamea has been moving for a long time. And she still thought that was her sister. But Neil, Porsha realizes Shamea's too far gone, and they were never really friends. If you're going to go low like this, if you're going to be behaving like this. So I don't know, like I said, where Porsha and Shamea could go from here, but it's just not a good look. So nonetheless, you guys, that is it for this video. I need y'all to do me a favor. And that is to hype the video. Hype the video, please. There's that. That is it. That is all. It's Todos es final. It's finito. It's the end of the road. See you in the line of this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post the content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.